Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I just got home from work. I think I'll start by accounting for some of the lumber that I have. What I was doing before is I was cutting up trees, and I was basically just seeing what cut out of them best, whether that be 2x4s, 2x6s, or 1x material. Just going by the size of the tree and the quality of the tree determined what I was cutting. Now it's time to basically make a list of materials that I need and start laying out the base plates and getting this project going, getting a chicken coop built. So here in a second, we can look at the material that I have and kind of what I've done as far as sorting so far. Okay, so here's what I have. I have, these are all 2x4s. These two piles in the middle are 2x6s. These are all 2x8s. Then over here, this whole pile here is all 1x material. So this will be like the siding or what have you. And I still have a few pieces over here that haven't been sorted out yet. But it looks like I'm going to have plenty of material. If I have to cut anything more, it might be some 2x6s or 2x8s. But it looks like I've got a slew of 2x4s, so I should be fine on that. So what I'm going to do first is get my treated lumber and lay it out for where the studs go. My plan is, well, you'll kind of see it when I get going, but my plan is to have, on this side, I'll have a door right in the center. I have a exterior door from a trailer house, and I've had the door for several years. I need to check it out. If it's still good, I'll put that here in the front. And then on the back side, facing the woods there, I was gonna put 2 windows in, but my windows are pretty big. So I think I might just put 1 in, facing the woods there. And then on the top on this side above the door, I have a little crank out awning window I might put up at the very top just to let the heat out. I don't really want to make a sauna out of it or a sunroom where it's going to get too hot for the chickens. So that's the plan, and I'll show you more as we go along. All right, I'm using the sawmill as a workbench. I went ahead and laid out where each of the studs will go. I actually pre-drilled the holes because if you've ever tried to drive a nail in rough sawn oak, you know it can be a pain. It's easier just to pre-drill the holes in the base and top plates, which is what these are. Here's where the door is going to go. So I laid them all out. I'm going with 16-inch centers with the door right in the center. That'll take 6 studs for that wall. So I took 6 of the longer 2x4s that I had, cut them down. I'm gonna make that front wall right about 9 feet tall. These I'm not using here, but I'm making the front wall about 9 foot tall and the back around 7. That'll give me about a 412 pitch, which is a pretty good pitch for a shed roof. So that's the plan. We'll continue on here. Okay, I got started here on the front wall. I'm using my trailer obviously as a workbench because it's easier than working on the ground and it's more level. So got the studs in, the middle's where the door is going to be, and then I have a kind of like a crank out window, so I'll put the door in there. And then I think I've got this old crank out window that I saved out of a place I tore down, and I think it'll work great for a chicken coop. It's got the little crank on the back side. So for ventilation, I think I'll put it up here at the very top to help the heat get out of the chicken coop. I'm a little worried about how hot it's going to get in there. So that's kind of the plan for today. It's early in the morning still, so I thought I'd get out here and do a little work on this, and we'll get going on it. I'm actually pre-drilling the holes for where the screws or nails go. If you've ever worked with rough sawn oak, you know how hard it can be. So I find it easier to do it like a pilot hole through here first. To kind of give me a guide, I can get the screw started in there that way. Otherwise, it can be a real workout. This piece of wood here is over the top of the door. I'm not doing a regular header in here. It's really not going to be supporting any weight. So I'll just put it in here basically as a nailer for along the top of the door. Okay, just thought it was easier to bring this saw up here. I had to run power up here. There's another thing to add to our list. It'd be nice to have power up here. Not necessary, I could go solar, but it's not too far from the house. So what I'm doing is the shorter pieces that I need for like in between the studs, I'm cutting out of the crooked 2x4s because it won't really matter so much. I'm saving the nice straight ones for the studs. This will represent the top and the bottom of that little crank out window for ventilation up here at the top. And the siding I'm going to be using is the rough sawn oak 1-inch wide boards. So really that siding actually ends up supporting a lot of weight because that makes a pretty solid wall. So I'm going to put some little fillers. I'll cut some of these short pieces I have from drops. I'll cut them down to length, use them for filler maybe every 4 feet. 2 of these on each run between the studs. That'll give me something good to attach my siding to. I'll screw it to the top plate, 2 of these in the bottom, and then use batten boards kind of like I did on the sawmill. That's the plan. Okay, for all the little cross boards between the studs, the nailers, I'll use these drops off of the studs that I cut off, and then I've got a couple of pretty crooked boards that are bad in 6 or 8 feet, but they're not bad in, 13, 14 inches. So I'll just cut these up. Okay, I have all the cross pieces in to attach the siding to. Now, I'll check it for square by measuring corner to corner and making sure the dimensions are the same. We've got 12 foot and a half an inch this way. Hook it over there. We've got 12 foot and a half an inch. That's amazing that that's square after looking at the way I built it up here on the trailer. So the next step is I'm going to lay out the holes for the bolts. Remember when we put the bolts in the concrete, I'll make sure those are straight, and I'll probably lube them up a little bit since they were a little rusty. And then I'll lay out where that goes on the base plate over here, and I'll drill the holes for that. And then I'm imagining that wall's pretty heavy. I may have to use the tractor to help me get it over there. We'll stand it up, bolt it down, and then we'll add a couple cross braces or something to hold it up square while we build the other walls. Okay, well that shows you things don't always go quite as planned. But it ended up there, and I don't think I broke anything. I'll have to check it again for square and tighten those bolts down and put an anchor over there to hold it up while I get the other walls built. But maybe I'll do a better job of setting the other one down. Okay, I'm gonna take some of these 2x8s that I'm not going to end up using on the building, and I can get two 2x4s out of each one. So I stacked a few of those boards up I'm not gonna be able to use in their width and make 2x4s that will work better. So we'll fire the saw up and get started on it here. Now we got 6 2x4s instead of 3 2x8s that I really didn't need anyway. So those will come in handy on the building. This will be the back wall. It's also 8 foot long, and there's going to be a window right here eventually. For light and also for cross ventilation. Keep it a little bit cooler in there for the chickens. That wall went a little more smooth than the other one did. I'm gonna just bolt it down. It's not squared up yet or anything like that, or leveled up. I'm not real worried about that at this point. I'm gonna build my two side walls next, make sure everything's level, square. Then I'll bolt the two together. I've got this one at just over 7, that one about 9. That'll give me a good pitch on the roof, and should be fine. It's starting to look a little better now. Well, everybody, I think I'm finished for today. We got both walls up, and that's a good start. Hey, while I was up there by the chicken coop, I noticed one of my blackberry patches had a bunch of ripe blackberries. So I think a blackberry shake is in order for tonight. That sounds like a good way to end the day. So we'll start again tomorrow on our project. That'll hold it together for now, and I'll go ahead and put maybe 4 or 5 screws on each side, and then the siding will also overlap the corners and really make it good and secure then. Okay, I got it good and leveled up front and back, and then I put this cross member in here, screwed it in top and bottom. That'll hold it square for now. Now I'll build the other wall, take these temporary braces out, put the other wall in, do the same kind of thing there. And then I'll square that side up, make sure everything is good before I start putting siding on. And of course, I still have the trusses to put on the top. So we're getting there, slow but sure. I'll go ahead and screw the corners together and double check, make sure everything is square, and then we'll kind of go from there. I guess we'll start looking at the trusses or the rafters up on top. Well, everybody, that's pretty much it for this week. We got all 4 walls up. I got it squared up, and next week we'll start the rafters, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll get this thing done. Thanks a lot for following along, and I hope to see y'all down the trail.